What's the vision for GNA from now? It's been 30 plus years now and
growing.
30 years and you still feel we are not yet there, and then what is the future calling you for?
Another issue we see is the many copies or look-alike products, and where we need to create much more awareness, because what looks similar is not the same.
One Kannada word for every architect should know this Kannada word. What is that word?
Rather than going to say change, maadu bedappa.
Change madbadi.
I have a question. When will Fundermax be manufactured in India? One philosophy in GNA that Namith and me have strongly stood by is to make sure that every project has, I would say, at least a few totally fresh thinking ideas, which means experimentation.
Yeah, I'm reminded of your house where the rock sits there as a part of the integrated staircase.
Being in sports, I think, has also been a great help in knowing that winning and losing are just
Part of the game.
Yeah. So, people who are in sport will definitely, put their loss behind them and get up and move the next day itself. So I think these are things which are life lessons, and, do what you have to do, putting, all your passion into your work. So I think if you have the passion and the interest, even losing is not a failure.
So we architects are groomed or mentored into this thinking that what's natural is what comes directly from nature, minimally processed and easy to go back into the soil. And what is engineered or manufactured, like your product, is something that consumes more energy, high embodied energy, and then not so perception-wise sustainable. So is there anything that you want to add to whatever you just mentioned?
See, this is just a choice of material. You have naturally produced materials, you have some engineered made material, and each one has its own strengths and merits of it. India is fortunate to have a lot of granite, especially in the southern India, and we also have a lot of marble in the northern India, but that's a choice of material. But then these materials can be quite heavy when you install for exterior, and they can be also porous, and then you may not have the same uniformity all the time. So that is the good aspects of it, but then there's the other side. But then, the finishes or the color options, what you can give out of stone or marble are limited. But in a material like ours, we can give you, like when you said 32,000 SKUs, we're talking of 134 different colors, decors. So it could be wood grain finishes, it could be stone finishes, metallic finishes, solid colors, and a lot of textures also can be offered. So this we are able to give more variety and more options to the designers to choose. See, we could be a substitute for a stone in some places. No real wood sustains in our weather, for that matter, any weather for that matter. So you have to, what is an alternative to real wood? An engineered material like us, which appears as good as a wood and is a lifetime product. And you don't have to worry about maintaining it at all.
Right. So shifting to Gayathri, you have had projects where there's always some very bold natural element, like a big rock or a reclaimed timber or something like that. You also had products like Fundermax getting used in your projects. So is there a philosophy? Is there a way you go about choosing a material? What drives the choice of materials? And is there a bias towards manufactured materials?
I think, again, I want to come back to the point that, in one philosophy in GNA that Namith and me have strongly stood by is to make sure that every project has, I would say, at least a few totally fresh thinking ideas, which means experimentation. So we, of course, love using natural material. We love using landscapes. But when you're looking to do something different, you're experimenting with both natural as well as new products in the industry. So we have used Fundermax in a lot of our projects because of the versatility. And I think the low maintenance, I think that's a big thing, because everyone wants to know what is the guarantee that one would give in terms of a product's life in a project. In the Jaguar corporate office, there are, there is a focus on bringing art into the, space. It's a sculptural form, and it is also, a complicated structural design as well. So it's everything combined in one, which was a challenge, but also very, very satisfying to do things like that. At the same time, if you look at hospitality, there are some projects like, the Sarai, which is in Chikmagalur, where we've tried to give a very contemporary look. So use materials which, are contemporary. And we have done the resort Niramaya in Kerala. And over there, we've, looked at something which is very traditional. So I feel that being able to work with different kinds of material is key. And I think it's fun to be able to use different materials separately, together. We have rock, we have glass, we have wood in one of our staircases combined together.
Yeah, I'm reminded of your house where the rock sits there as a part of the integrated staircase. So your house, the Serai resort that you mentioned, the Niramaya, I think Gorukhana is another resort that we kind of recall. What are the other projects that you'd like to sort of line up for our viewers to take a look at in your complete basket of projects?
So I think, there are, in the last few years, we have done some, varying projects. There is one which is, of course, for Tirumala. It's a government project, is a guest house, with 500 rooms. So that is a different thought process itself, because it is traditional from the point of view of philosophy, but very functional and contemporary in its functional aspect, let's say. So that is one thing that I feel that, is unique. We also have various homes that we've done where we've worked with traditional Bhakti residence, for one, has very traditional finishes. And we have the Jaguar corporate office, which was
very modern.
Net zero building.
So I'm curious now, because there are practices which are very specialized in their whole outlook. If they're doing hospitals, they're only doing hospitals. If they're doing institutions, they're only doing institutions. And GNA, for one, and even Mistries and a few other practices have been very generic, spread across different typologies, different categories, different scales, different locations. And we inherit the same in our practice. So what is your take on the specialization angle of architecture versus being very generic and experimental in our work?
I would say that I enjoy doing various kinds of projects, right from homes to corporate offices or campuses, because it gives you when you're doing different types of creative work. There are a lot of people who stop doing homes after they've done so many years of practice, but we enjoy that interaction, whether it is with a family or whether it is with different generations in a family, to kind of see their dreams come true when it comes to a home. Having said that, of course, you have to deal with all the vastu and all the things that come with different generations of a particular family.
Preferences of multiple family members.
Absolutely. So that is fun. But I think the fact of the matter is that the minute you start specializing, yes, you do get very good at what you do. But personally, I believe that it would really get, for me, a little boring.
Higher chance of repeating yourself.
Yes. And I think that, you might probably just go back to doing something that you've already done, and that kills the whole idea of you being a creative personality. So I believe it's nice to have a broad spectrum. on that note, I wanted to say that, somebody actually gave us a great compliment. They said that some of the work that we've done does not showcase GNA, but showcases the client's
personality
in the project. And I think that's a great,
great compliment. Yes, absolutely.
It's a great thing to hear, because you don't really want to put your personality
on the project.
On that project, you will really want it for the user of that project.
Thank you so much for reassuring that. And that's the ethos that we carry after working here for 15 plus years. Let's switch gears to women in architecture. Now, you are one of women architects in India whom we can recall and think of. And now I have been just doing a little research to figure out that there is an increase in the number of girl intake into architecture school, even though the intake has dropped by about 40+% in all the institutions across India in terms of the architecture admissions, which is alarming and we are concerned about it. At the same time, there is an increase of about 15% intake in girl population into architecture school. Now, help our viewers and students who are aspiring students also. Now we have this initiative from IIID of Catch Them Young. Please share your experience and inspire our upcoming women architects with your insights and learnings.
I think both architecture and what you can do after architecture, whether it is landscape design, whether it is lighting design, and there are so many sustainable design, interior design. There are so many, things that you can, avenues that you can really look into. I think it's about passion in this space, so to say. And once you enjoy this line of thinking and creative work, I think I would say it's gender neutral. I think, yes, there are a lot of girls getting into colleges, but I think it is wonderful. When we got into college, we were an equal number of boys and girls in our class, but the batch just after us had, I think, 24 girls and 1 boy. So that was like a strange
balance.
That was quite a strange, intake at that particular time. I think today it's a different story. From those days, everyone who looks at architecture or interior design does look at it as a career and wants to excel in that career. There are no limits that are put for anybody. The sky is the limit. We have WAF awards where we won the award. But I also went to Aruba for a project that we are doing over there. It has taken time, but it is a project that's getting completed in about 6 months' time. So I think there are no barriers. I think it's wonderful to be in this creative field. And what I feel is that the more you get involved in this particular field, you enjoy it more and more. You immerse yourself more in creativity, you get a lot more out of it. What do you think, Sathish?
Yeah, I mean, I was just reflecting on this point that our profession is a very long gestation driven profession. I mean, it takes time for one to learn, practice, establish oneself. And if women architects are having that perseverance and that little bit of consistency that their life challenges can bring, if they can invest themselves into the profession, I think, as you mentioned, I also agree that sky is the limit. I mean, I don't think there's anything stopping our women architects from really doing well in the industry. I personally believe that the component of compassion, the component of really relating to the sensitivity of design creativity is much higher. And with women, particularly, of no bias to the men out there. But now, both of you have been in the role of a mentor at some point. You, in the field of art, you have been a mentor to me. You have also mentored many girl architects in GNA who have thriving practices. And you, in your field also, I have understood that you've been mentoring business leaders or your junior talent. What is your take? What is your suggestion? What is your advice to young entrepreneurs, young architects who can benefit from your experience? What are those 2 or 3 things that you want to highlight?
See, there is space and opportunity for everyone in every area of business. It starts with how clear they are, and one should be ready to accept failure. Failures are part of life, but giving up is a bigger thing than but accepting a failure. Accept failures as part of life. If you believe in something, just keep going ahead. And we learn from our mistakes, as we all know, and rather than from the successes. So never give up if you believe in something, and we are going to reach our goal or milepost at some point of time, sometimes sooner, sometimes later. And in the whole process of mentoring, we also learn a lot.
Absolutely.
As much as they are able, we think we are providing, a lot of times we are learning a lot because there's always something new, and it's a different thought process, different approach, different mindsets, maybe different areas of industry as well. And there's always a lot of learning. But the whole thing, what is very important is to talk, communicate is the key thing here.
Thank you, Prashanth. And
I wanted to say that, being in sports, I think has also been a great help in knowing that winning and losing are just
part of the game.
Yeah, part of the game. So, people who are in sport will definitely, put their
Special team.
their loss behind them and get up and move the next day itself. So I think these are things which are life lessons, and these are things that one needs to open your mind to, and be able to, come back fitter, faster, better, and, do what you have to do, putting, all your passion into your work. So I think if you have the passion and the interest, even losing is not a failure.
Thank you so much for that. I think one of our primary goals of this podcast series is to encourage, inspire younger talent to take up the challenges associated with architecture, along with the joys of doing architecture and interior design. So that helps us kind of promote that very, very well in this forum. All right. So I would like to know, you already mentioned about NET and a collaborative success story. Any other success story of collaboration that you have done where you could challenge each other, the product company and the architect, and something unique came about?
See, for us, especially at Fundermax, it happens all the time. For every project, we are not just a product supplier. This is the difference in Fundermax. We try to understand the project, the requirements, the compatibility of the product to the design, and we are looking at providing an overall complete solution. We work with the architect body or the architect office very closely in understanding the design, cutting down the wastages, and to make the optimum use of the material. So every project is a collaboration for us, and this has to happen. Our products, even as partners who service finally, we don't allow them to trade the product, so that we do not actually know where the product has ended up with. We have a record and list of all the 20,000 projects we have done till date. We know who's the architect, when it was installed, which decor, and we keep a track of this project.
Remain in a database.
Yeah, we do it. So we are proud owners of this project, and we keep it till there. It's not that some trader has sold the product and nobody knows where it has ended up with. We know a product which should have been used on the ceiling is on the floor and the other way. So that's the difference. We have been able to do it, and every project for us is a collaboration, and that is where we build a trust level, that we are not merely interested to sell, we are interested to service the project.
Wonderful. Are there any myths about usage of industrially produced products that you want to bust? Or are there contexts where definitely Fundermax should not be used?
See, we are clear that we are not a flooring material company. We also have a product line which can be used for flooring, but we do not promote it so much because that's not our strength. So this, we are also very clear that if it's flooring, please, it's not Fundermax. We have a product line, but I think you will have better choice. It's all about the design and the compatibility of the product. The larger issue we see is the many copies and look-alike products, and where we need to create much more awareness, because what looks similar is not the same. And there we have to create more awareness so that the trust which is imposed on the product last with sustainability. And I think there is a lot of work that needs to be done.
So we did the Nirguna Mandir kitchen, where we experimented by using Fundermax as a roofing, not cladding, as the roof material itself. So, of course, it needed to be detailed out, obviously, but I think it was extremely successful and looks amazing. So, thanks to Fundermax, because it was
it was a unique design. Not many dared to do it. It was Gayatri's belief that this product can perform and sustain. It was a very important project.
Yes.
Everybody's eyes are on the project.
Yeah.
It better perform and do it. So it's also a trust. And then the engineering part to the architecture. That's extremely important. So if the architects are able to connect the engineering part, this particular application as a roof cladding, will it really work? I think then yes. So it is more upon the design fraternity how they make the best use of the available product. What I wanted to actually tell is, next year collection, the product, the cycle of innovation in our case is not less than 5 years. Because you have to test these materials under different weather conditions to finally be convinced that this product is ready to roll out. Our interior collection is 5 times bigger than the exterior. So there the risks are very low. So you have hardly any failure issues there. But for any exterior application, the product life cycle test itself take that many years. So you can't roll out new products every year or so. So when we do at the end of 5 years, you're just adding 20% new products to a collection and maybe 20% are being phased out as well.
I have a question. When will Fundermax be manufactured in India?
It's my wish to, and when it's an ongoing exercise. What I'm in continuous touch with the principal company. We would like to manufacture. In fact, the Fundermax India was born with the manufacturing idea in mind. We would love to have it at the earliest. The issue is the scale of the project versus the market. What we are, since we are positioned in the premium niche market, we are looking at possible M&As, acquisitions as well. This is an ongoing. I would say the answer is certainly yes. We would love to, but unfortunately, I do not have a date in mind to share.
Best wishes for the Make in India journey for Fundermax. What's the vision for GNA from now? It's been 30 plus years now and 33 years and
growing.
30 years and you still feel we are not yet there. And then what is the future calling you for?
So I think, like we always say that our best project is our next project, and there is always something that you can always improve and you can always get better at. Our industry is also extremely nascent, isn't it? When you think of site conditions, the way things are done at site and what we can do, with our detailing, with our consultants and all of it. So I feel that there's lots to do. I mean, probably beyond our generations as well. But I believe we need to look at architects as a whole, but GNA especially, to look at projects which could be a zero waste project.
Yeah, that's extremely important.
So I think that would, if we could work on that, I mean, that's a target. I'm not sure how long we take to do that and how we will do that, but that is a dream. And of course, to always have fun. I think that is something that, we should all do in whichever
field you're in.
Field we are in. Enjoy, have fun, and, put your heart into what you're doing.
I think carrying forward from Gayathri, we all have a responsibility to make this world net carbon free.
Now, we have a little surprise. Let me quickly get into a rapid fire questions. Prashanth, shall we start with you or Gayathri with you? You're pointing at each other. Okay. Let's start with Prashanth Reddy. Okay. The laminate color you secretly love, but clients rarely pick or doesn't get sold at all.
I think the Indian mindset is for a lot towards the wood grains. But I personally like this gray color, the cement shades, which look more natural. And one side is the thick, the other side is the stone or the gray. I feel gray has got a lot of potential.
Do Indian customers pick Fundermax colors like they pick saris? No.
Not really. I think everyone wants to play safe because finally it's the facade of the building and they want it to be unique, which the neighbors also don't have. All right.
Problem with, yeah.
Right. I want to stand out from the neighbor. One tool in your office you couldn't live without. Any tool that you have in your office.
Paper and pencil is a must, I think.
Wow, that's an architect's tool.
I know, that's what I thought.
That's wonderful. Did you ever think of becoming an architect at some point?
No, I never felt it like that, but I'm happy that I'm able to work with the architects. See, everyone has their own strengths. So it is not, the architecture is not in me, the design is not in me. But I'm very happy to connect with architects and be part of their story.
Yeah, you're on the greener side of the fence. All right. So, Vish doesn't like this. You don't. Okay. Texting or face to face for sealing a business deal?
Yeah, I think it's both are required. The easy part is the texting, but then if you know, I would prefer to talk to Gayathri face to face rather than texting. But maybe somebody whom I don't know, maybe we start with texting before it becomes face to face.
But it's 10 years since you came to our office.
We meet at the platforms thanks to the opportunities we had.
Thanks to Bangalore traffic, face to face meetings. Mountains, beaches, or bustling markets? Your energy spot.
Definitely not the bustling markets. We prefer the mountains or the beaches. But I think both are good choices.
All right. Or one of the famous biryani joints in Bangalore.
The biryani alone is not. You also need the company around.
A famous architect you would like to collaborate with, dead or alive, doesn't matter.
It would be very unfair to pick up any single architect because I think we have worked with more than 1,000 architects and each one has brought, he or she has brought their own strength and design. It would be wrong on our part to say this one or that one. We would love to work with every architect and designer of the world. Why not? If a product is good, why shouldn't we work with every one of them?
Superb.
No preference here.
Thank you. All right. So, nickname your team calls you behind your back, so that we also know what to call you in IIID.
I think networker.
Oh, is it?
Until many times they mistake that I'm all the time on the golf course.
You wouldn't have achieved so much just in the golf course, yes. So, shall we start with you, Gayathri? Your design superpower in one word.
Passion?
All right. A building you wish you had designed, no matter where it is and which architect has designed it.
One of Kalajava's buildings.
Wow. Okay. Most unusual place you have found creative inspiration from?
I think just being by yourself, lost in thoughts, wherever you are, it could be, in a forest or in a beach, or maybe simply in your own home in, very comfortable, calm surroundings.
So free of space and time. Bohos or Bengaluru Palace? What's your aesthetic spirit animal?
I would like to
You can say neither also.
Yeah, I would like to think of contemporary Indian. And so I'm trying to think which is this animal that would bring this together.
Padmanabhapura Palace, maybe?
Yeah, why not?
All right. If not architecture, hockey coach or a restaurator?
Hockey.
Hockey coach?
In fact, I've been involved with getting hockey training in government schools and enjoying that entire process. So that's great.
One Kannada word. For every architect should know this Kannada word. What is that word?
I'm going to say change madu bedappa.
Change madbedi. Okay, madbedi is the Kannada word, but change is the thing we most dread when it comes to. With IIID being your work domain, karma bhumi in that sense, what would you like to transform about our, whether it's urban space or project scenario or lifestyle, which impacts larger masses?
I think, considering that all of us have lived in the city, throughout for a good, 40 plus years, at least, with me, in fact, 50 plus years. I think we've seen the city grow and feel very committed to be a part of setting things right. And I feel we must create a platform where people can come and do voluntary work. So it would be great, what do you think, if we could have a space where people could come and give, say, a couple of hours of theirs to come and, maybe interact, maybe do something, whether it is design or whether it is just, somebody from a different walk of life come in and discuss or have a, debate or a brainstorming on something like that.
I like the idea. This is something we should also do that. The other thing what I was thinking is the recycling of materials, which is a big problem if not addressed sooner. IIID started this initiative. In fact,
Yep.
it happened
The swap
during your
studio.
time.
Yeah.
Lab studio, and I think there we should do more of that.
Right.
How are we able to? It's a fantastic initiative
Great.
started by IIID
Yeah.
PRC,
Yeah.
but we haven't realized its full potential. I think we should now work more on that.
Imagine if Swap becomes a warehouse for every social project in the city and it contributes almost no cost. And then automatically your zero carbon, zero wastage goal gets met. I think it's a wonderful coming together of different. This is one thing unique that I find about IIID is that when you bring industry partners into the equation, it's not like only architects.
Absolutely.
There is an opportunity for a different takeoff and collaboration possibility.
I feel.
Am I doing too much of the talking?
No. That the whole idea is to kind of get this more interactive. But I think from the next couple of years, from BCIC as well and IIID coming together, and the idea is to bring a little more into urbanscape and try and see what designers can do, maybe for a ward, maybe for a neighborhood, maybe for a broader area of infrastructure, but in some way impact design and some way impact lives of Bangaloreans to be a better place.
Super. I mean, now of course, there's a lot of talk about India becoming global superpower, India becoming the Vishwa Guru or all of that. Do you foresee Bangalore as the design capital of the world?
This discussion started, I think Gayu only started a few years back, that why shouldn't Bangalore be a design capital? It was Valencia and it was Bangalore, but then we failed to build upon that.
Yes.
But this was already in discussion few years back.
Yes.
Just recalling,
Yes.
you had started.
No, actually, the thing is, it was not something that I started, but there was a initiative, that was put together by Miss Geeta Narayan and ADI, and then it was what was given to Bangalore when Valencia actually became the design capital was that it would be a protopolis, which means that it is a city that is looking to change and is in transition. So I think that is a great opportunity, and I think they're still working with the government to try and bring this forward in multiple ways in bringing better design to the city. So Bangalore is already there, and I believe that we do have a huge community of very good designers in the city who can help in their own way in, droplets make an ocean.
Yeah.
So it would be great if different designers from different areas come together and, put the whole together with thoughts and ideas coming from all over.
Gayathri, your association and partnership with Namith, and I've had working experience with both you and him. And there was a point when we were working for both of you, and then finally we had, timelines and other things coming in the way we started working independently. I have known him to be a person who is more spiritually inclined, and he brings that vernacular ethos into the design space. You are more of a balance between modernism and, heritage conservation and all that. And I used to come with this crazy ideas of highly modernist thinking coming into the picture because just fresh out of college. And so anything that you would like to highlight for future partners who come together as architects, because most architectural firms are built on partnerships. What is your lesson, do's and don'ts maybe?
I think what is most important in a partnership is trust. The minute you have trust in a partner, everything else is solvable, So, of course, the point of, design itself is so personal. There is no right and there is no wrong answer. So it becomes certain things, you may not agree on or you agree to disagree, right? So often. So there will be various points of disagreement. There will be points of probably things that, you will totally close your eyes and go forward on certain things that you will really think of to do together. But the trust, I think, is the baseline. And having trust, it is important to think of it that way when you're taking on a partner, whether you would be able to keep that trust going through and through. Once that is there, I think everything else falls in place.
So it's time to wrap up. And to all our viewers, if you have not already watched episode 1 and 2, click the link here or here. Where is them? Yeah, maybe here. So click the link and follow along. Please watch the full episodes because the real deep lessons are hidden in the gaps. And until next time, be curious, keep questioning, and keep transforming the world around you. See you soon.
Thank you. Thank you, Sathish. That was amazing.
Thank you so much for your
Thank you,
wonderful
Prashanth.
presence.
Thank you.